channel. Today in this video I'm going to be talking about ways on how you can clear your mind. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I have a lot of different tips and advice on my channel and other things that you may be interested in. So yeah, stay tuned for the information that I'm about to share in this video, and if you find it helpful, please like. So I know that there's a lot of things happening in the world and probably happening in you all's life, and a lot of things can cause you to be stressed out, can cause you to worry. You can even have different feelings of sadness or anger at different occurrences in your life, and those things do happen in just about every human being's life, and it's hard to escape. But there are ways that you can deal with it to make it a whole lot easier to bear. So one of the first things that I would advise you to do is just take a moment and sit down and really just go over the thoughts that you're having. And if there's a way that you know you can just stop thinking about it, if there's a way that you know that you can let go of certain things, like let's just say there's an issue that happened, there's something that happened and it really caused a lot of anger, but the issue was done with, the whole situation is now settled, but you're still feeling the after effects of the whole thing, then just sit down and let it go. Sit down and mentally just let it go. And once you're doing that, start to think of things that made you feel the opposite way, things that made you feel happy and alive, things that made you joyful. Sit there and think of different moments that you've experienced in life that made you feel the opposite way, and you'll find yourself just going off into a whole nother world thinking on these things, and you'll sit up and you'll feel happier. Even if the problem is still lurking in the back of your mind, you'll find a way to cope with it by thinking on things that make you feel a whole lot better. Once you do that, I would advise you to occupy yourself doing something. Find a hobby that you enjoy, or you could do chores, you could clean up, you can do some work, or you could do something that you enjoy. You could even play a game, as long as you're occupying yourself. If you occupy yourself doing something, that will help you clear your mind. It will actually distract you from the negative thoughts that you might be having or the negative feelings that you might be feeling at the moment. Really occupying yourself causes you to think on what you're doing or think on other things while you're busy, or not think of anything at all. Sometimes when you're occupied doing something, you really have hardly any thoughts going through your mind. You're just really focused on the task at hand. So I would suggest really occupying yourself with something, and that will definitely help you to clear your mind. After keeping yourself busy, I would suggest that you rest. Rest up and play some peaceful music. If you really try to rest yourself, sometimes people go and lay down or go with intentions on resting, and they automatically go right back to the thoughts that they were having before, the negative thoughts and feelings, and they really just sit there and sink into it, feeling like they have a right to, feeling like that's gonna get rid of it. But most times when you force yourself not to think on something, you really force yourself to just rest. Think on resting. Lay there and think of the most peaceful spot that you could be in. Just think of that. Meditate on peace. If you lay there and you imagine yourself in a peaceful garden, the wind blowing, and you smell something very fragrant, like fragrant flowers, and you hear the birds chirping in the background and different things like that, you'll find yourself so engulfed into those thoughts to where you almost forget to think about what had you feeling a certain way. It will really distract your mind, and you'll find yourself drifting off to sleep and having a nice peaceful rest. You can even rest while telling yourself that everything is going to be okay, that everything is all good in your life. Even if you're not feeling too well in the moment, or even if things aren't going good in your life, If you just lay there with some peaceful music playing, thinking of being in a nice peaceful spot while telling yourself that everything is going to be okay, everything is good, everything is right, the more you tell yourself that, the more you'll begin to feel that way, even if things aren't really right or going good, or even if your environment isn't necessarily peaceful. If you meditate on that, you'll start to feel it more. And even though it might not erase all the negative things in your life and all the negative thoughts you may have, it'll definitely distract you from them and help you to have just a little bit of peace and a little bit of tranquility. Another way that you can really get negative thoughts and feelings out of your system is by saying it out loud. It's by really just projecting it and getting it out. Because one of the most terrible things to do to yourself is to box it all up, or to keep it all inside, not allowing it to come out, not releasing those feelings. If you lock up all of those emotions and feelings inside, you'll continue to feel it, and it'll be hard for you to feel anything other than those negative feelings. But if you really just release it and let it all out, then you'll find yourself a whole lot lighter. Your burden will be a whole lot lighter, and eventually you'll be able to drop the whole burden and let go of it and really embrace things that are peaceful, embrace things that are positive, and embrace a better mindset. You could let it out by just talking to Yah and telling him about your troubles and your worries and your stress and your negative thoughts and feelings. Confess it all. Even if you know that you're in sin and certain feelings that you're having you know aren't right, just say it out loud to your Father in heaven. And by confessing it, you'll try to find a way to fix it. You'll try to find a way to do better. Because if you're keeping all of that stuff locked up inside and not releasing it, then you're more likely to act in sin in the future. But if you let it all out, confess it in front of Yah, you'll feel more convicted in the future if you try to go back to that. But by letting it out, you know that it's out in the air, and you know that it's wrong, and you confess that it's wrong, and it's in your mind that it's wrong. And so you'll feel more like it's wrong in the future when you go back to it. When you start having those feelings again, or those thoughts again, or when you try to do certain actions that you were doing before that were negative, you'll feel it. You'll feel the conviction a whole lot stronger. And it'll be easier for you to turn away from it and embrace all things positive. So with that being said, I hope all of these tips were helpful. They were just quick tips. They're definitely tips that I have to try to apply myself. A lot of people aren't perfect, and even the people who give out advice, they had to take that same advice sometime in the past. So I really hope that this advice was helpful, and I hope that if it was, you share it and you try to help someone yourself by giving them advice. If you know a little bit of something, it's always best to share that so that others will be helped by it. So with that being said, leave comments in the comment section below. If it helped you, let me know. And if you have any other ideas for videos like this that you would like for me to film, let me know, and I'll try my best to do a video. With that being said, stay tuned for more videos. Check out my community where I post different things like scriptures and poems and nature photography and other things, as well as check out my description box where there's a little bit more information about this video and links. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, and like. Thanks for watching.